was the vice president of student affairs. His name was Dr. Bruce Swinburne. Now, the thing that was interesting about Dr. Swinburne, and those that you know him or knew him, he would always wear blue suits. And for a whole semester, I thought he only had like 2 or 3 suits, because every time I saw him, he had on a blue suit. Well, it turns out, it turns out he had a whole closet full of blue suits that he wore all the time. And another peculiarity about him is that when he showed up, especially if he was to speak at an event such as this, he would always have a poem. So, I've got my blue suit, and I've got my poem. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Won't you be mine? Would you be my neighbor? Ladies and gentlemen, here to welcome us today, the Mayor of Carbondale, Carolyn Harvey.
Oh. Sorry, hold on one sec. Is that not working? Huh. Okay, let's go ahead and play it.
Good morning, Sue.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Sorry. Maybe we should do the mayor's welcome in just a minute, okay?
Okay, well, we'll work that out.
Yeah.
Please understand that you're all welcome. Now, hopefully that made you a little we want to skip over our logistics and recognize some of our council members that are here. Nathan Colombo, I thought I saw him earlier. Okay, well, just raise your hand if you will. Adam, I don't see Adam Luck, I don't see him around. Okay, Don Roberts. Oh, she says hi, holler. Yeah, she says hey. Claire. I'm missing Claire. There goes Don. Okay. Here on the front row we have Nancy Maxwell and Brian Stanfield, all the way in the back there. Glad to meet you. I don't think we've met before. I'll holler at you before we leave. Okay. Also we have here today our city manager, Stan Reno.
Yeah, hand him the mic. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here today. It's good to see the sun shining. I want to start by thanking all our residents, our neighbors, and our members of the community for taking the time this morning to attend and take this opportunity to connect. Gatherings like this are important.
I have a hard time hearing you back here.
Okay, better?
Yeah, better.
All right, just trying not to overwhelm you, but all right. So it's gatherings like this that are important opportunities to learn more about what's happening in Carbondale, for all of us to share information and to strengthen relationships across all our neighborhoods and across the city. So this morning you'll hear from several people, several staff members who will be sharing information about city resources, current initiatives, and ways to stay engaged. And we hope this helps provide useful insight and encourages ongoing communication between the city and our community. I'd also like to extend a special thank you to Sarah. Thank you for continuing to organize this meeting. For you, for continuing to It's a great opportunity to bring everybody together. We appreciate the time and the effort that went into making today possible and the opportunity. So thank you again for being here this morning and for your interest in Carbondale, most of all. We're glad you're here. Look forward to a productive and informative discussion. So thank you.
All right, Stan. Also with the new faces, are we ready, Jennifer? Okay, that's all right.
I'm sorry, I don't think
Why
so.
don't you come and just explain the logistics before we
Okay.
go anywhere?
Sure. I'm sorry, it's been a while since I hooked all this up and hopefully we'll get the mayor on at some point during her video. And we we also have somebody speaking on Zoom today.
Who
So
are
there.
you?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm Jennifer Robertson, I'm the library director. Nice to see you all, thanks for coming. Welcome, there's coffee, there's some snacks, restrooms are up in the corner upstairs. And thank you all so much for coming today. I think there will be some questions from Zoom later, but I'll just relay those.
Okay. Great. I'm gonna be expeditious to keep things rolling along. Do we need to explain the timing situation here?
Well, for the 5 minute speakers, I will do this when there's a minute left. When there's a minute left to your 5 minutes, I'll hold this up. And then you can just gauge it.
Great. Did everybody catch that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's see, let's move it right along. Was honored to meet today the new police chief of Carbondale, Anthony Copeland.
So I'm kind of a loud talker, so is this loud enough?
You gotta move it like so people on Zoom can.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, absolutely, absolutely. Well, good morning, good morning. I appreciate this opportunity to come meet. I've met many of you already. So the question for the group is, we're almost about 5.5 months into this. Am I still the new chief or am I the new-ish chief? No, I kind of wondered that. At what point do I get to refer to myself? I'm just the chief here. I have a question, and I'm going to make this a quick question. How many people grew up here in Carbondale? I've spent, okay. So real fast, keep your hands up, please. Everyone else, look around you. Okay? You can see kind of the original Carbondale folks. Here's what I love and what I've seen. Thank you so much. Put your hands out. Here's what I love and what I've seen about Carbondale and what has drawn me here and why I'm here. What I see is a group of people that you are committed to your community. I see a group of people that you're from elsewhere, but you saw something here in Carbondale that you want to be part of, and it kept you here. And you're here this morning because you want to be part of that positive change and that continuation of moving our community forward. So again, Anthony Copeland. I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland. About 19, almost 20 years ago, moved to Paducah, Kentucky. Yes, a lady was involved in that, and her entire family moving to Paducah. I joined the police force there. I had I call it a blessed career. I had the opportunity to do almost everything that you can possibly do in the police department. Retired after being the number 2, the assistant chief, for several years. I'll tell you what I saw though. Just like what I see here, is a community that comes together, that works hand in hand, and we solve problems. And that's my passion, and why when I literally got some phone calls saying, we think Carbondale may be looking for you. I said, I'm sure they're not. Then I started looking, and I started reading and researching. I went, oh my goodness, this is a community that wants to work together. I love sitting down with a group of people and let's talk about the problems. Let's talk about your perspective. Let's talk about how we work through things. That's how I live my entire life. That's my kids. It drives me crazy. They come to me and they go, Daddy, what do you think about this? And I go, well, let's talk about it. Let's ask some questions. Let's try to get to the root cause of what's going on. And I feel like that's incumbent in law enforcement, right? That we see problems, we see issues in the community, we hear from the community on a daily basis. But what we do with that information is extremely important as we seek feedback from the community, and we come together just like this, to work things out. How many about that? I have 2.5 minutes. Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the department. So again, one of the things that drew me here when I evaluated is Carbondale a good fit for me? Is the police department a good fit? Is when I saw first of all, the diversity in the agency, the diversity of background in the agency, and diversity of resources in the agency. So the idea of law enforcement, the enforcement of laws and rules, I'll be a big portion of it. But again, it's what are the resources? Can we look at the problem? Can we look at whether it be juvenile crime, burglaries, let's say like destruction of property in the neighborhood? Do we have enough connection with community resources? Are there enough community partners? Are there partnerships, whether it be at the state's attorney's office, diversion programs, to address those problems? And what I saw was like, it's there. So that gave me a great amount of hope that I'm going to step into this role and be part of leading this agency, continuing to lead the agency the direction this is going. The resources that we have, I'm sure you've seen our marked patrol units, right? Our officers who are out on the street that are answering calls, day in, day out. Who's mental health advocates? Okay, so several people. We have a fantastic team of passionate people that are here to engage not just mental health, but they spend an incredible amount of working with the house of our community. Coming over here to the library, something we've been in discussion with the library, got 1 minute to go, signs up. I feel like we're bidding on something when you put that sign up. Yeah, so if you have time, every year we do 2 called community CPAs, and that's Community Police Academy. Opportunity for you to come in and see firsthand. Right now we have one going on. We have about 14 people involved, but to see not just what we do, but more importantly, the people who are doing the work. Just as, again, each one of you are here and you've remained here in this community with a purpose and a passion, that's what you're going to find at the Carbondale Police Department. As officers, every bit of our staff, they have such a passion for what we're doing.
Chief, I got a hook here.
Oh, you got a hook? All right, 1 minute's up. I appreciate it. I think we're moving to the Q&A questions.
At the end.
At the end, okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Okay, this isn't a new face, but he's wearing a new uniform. Our Fire Chief Jay Crippen.
Appreciate being here, and it's a big act to follow there. About half as articulate as Chief Copeland. So good morning, everyone, and thank you for taking time to be here today. For those of you I haven't met, I'm Jay Crippen. I'm honored to serve as the newly appointed Fire Chief. For the city of Carbondale. Carbondale isn't just a place where I work. It's home. It's where I grew up. I attended Union Point School, Carbondale Community High School, Carbondale Community High School, and graduated from Southern University. This community shaped who I am, and it means a great deal to serve in this role for this community. I've been with the Carbondale Fire Department for over 4 years now, and in the fire service almost 28. Been fortunate to serve in many capacities and learn a lot from a great group of people in the fire service. I worked my way through the ranks of firefighters, served on the union executive board, been a member of technical rescue team, hazardous materials team. I've also worked as an arson investigator and arson canine handler, which was one of the more unique experiences that I got to participate in the fire service. Within the fire department, I've had the privilege of being a shift captain, a training officer, emergency management coordinator, and then assistant chief and now fire chief. Each role has given me a deeper appreciation for the responsibility we have to the community and to each other. The Carbondale Fire Department is widely recognized in Southern Illinois for our professionalism, our aggressiveness, our skill level, and our commitment to the community through outreach. This reputation wasn't built overnight, and it certainly wasn't built by one person. It's the result of dedicated men and women who care deeply about the people they serve. As fire chief, my goal is to build on that foundation by strengthening the service we provide, services we provide to people, expand our fire prevention education programs, and continue to exceed the community's expectations when it comes to responding to emergencies, whether it's a fire, assisting in those medical calls, or just helping someone in their time of need. I want our residents to know that they can count on our department. I truly value community input and engagement, such as this, and I look forward to working with you, listening to your concerns, and continuing to make Carbondale a safe place to live, work, and raise a family. I was also asked to talk a little bit about emergency management, which falls underneath the fire department. We focus on several areas in our emergency management, which is public outreach, through education, notification, and then response after emergencies. So we're responsible for sounding the sirens once a month, making sure they work. Over recent years, we were able through the CIP project to expand some of our outdoor warning sirens to make sure that all of outdoor Carbondale is covered. We've added some different technology to that where we can do some voice announcements over that to hit specific hazards that might not just be a tornado warning, for example. we'll continue to work through things like that as they come our way. So when we get to the time for questions, we'll be happy to answer anything on anything with the fire department or emergency response or weather information, things like that. So, all right, thank you.
Okay, Assistant City Attorney, Joe Devon.
Everybody hear me okay? Perfect. It's nice to meet all of you. My name is Joseph Damon. I'm the Assistant City Attorney. And like I said in the email response, although I am probably a new face to a lot of you, I actually have been working at the city since 2023. But it's probably a good thing that you haven't recognized my face. And I think just like a lot of the other people in the room looking around, I'm also a transplant. I'm not originally from the area, but both of my parents are from Illinois, so I'm happy to come back and they'll be retiring to the area. And I think just like a lot of people in the room, although I wasn't born here, I chose to be here, especially because of the beauty of the Southern Illinois area. I'm happy to be here, happy to work as your assistant city attorney for the city. So I think in thinking about the best way to describe that, I work for the city, I represent the city as corporate counsel. I primarily deal with a lot of the code enforcement as well as the city and traffic courts. I assist Jamie in doing a lot of the other council parts and the other municipal elements of what the city has to do in terms of getting the agenda prepared and ultimately aiming towards policy decisions for the city. I think I also advise and discuss a lot with staff about the legal issues that will be potentially facing the city, as well as working amongst the community with the other business interests to make sure that we're working in a collaborative effort from the city as well as the community, doing for the best interest of what we're all trying to go to. So a little bit about me. Previously, I worked as a public defender. I've only been an attorney for 4 years. Actually, it'll be 4 in May. So I'm a little bit new to some of the elements of what the job is. And so I've actually, to say I've been learning on the job is definitely a little bit of an understatement. But I definitely think that as I work towards understanding how best to serve the community, I've also found different ways to get involved in the community. So outside of just working as a lawyer for the city, I also volunteer with the Southern Illinois healthcare system. I sit on the Patient Family Advisory Council for the hospital local system here in Southern Illinois. And as far as legal interests go, I think it's always funny thinking back to how I ended up in the city because I'm one of those kids whose parents, I got dragged to city council meetings as a kid. So I've weirdly almost been predestined to do something, I think, within something to do with municipal government. I think it's important to understand that the local power is important to understanding, controlling, and ultimately creating the kind of community that you want to live in. And I'm happy to be part of that journey with all of you. That's all I have to say.
And a word there, I think John will be reading something for us. John.
First of all, I'd like to say I love the neighborhood alliance. And yes, I can read, believe it or not. So what I'm going to do is bring you up to speed basically on our sustainability program. We're very active and have for many years a very active sustainability commission. We came up with a sustainability action plan, and we went through a first sustainability coordinator for a short time, and then we had Lauren Becker. We were blessed to have Lauren Becker for several years. She was very outgoing, very energetic, and we love to have those kind of people, but when you got rock stars, you know that there's obviously a possibility that they will move on and pursue other things. It was not me. I did not drive her away, contrary to Bob. In Lauren's stead, or replacing Lauren, is a young lady by the name of Hannah Weber. So we've not met Hannah Weber. She started in July, and as you can imagine, taking over in the footsteps for somebody like Lauren, who had been there for several years, and picking up is a real challenge. And so, while the sustainability program has been rebuilding and everything, it is still very much alive and well, which I want everybody to know. We are still very much dead set on pursuing the goals and objectives in the sustainability action plan, which we're very define reductions in carbon emissions and greenhouse gases and energy efficiency improvements and things like that. So I'm going to read Hannah's statement, and then later on you guys can ask questions. I'd also like to thank everybody for coming out. I love the Neighborhood Action group. People talk about where they're from. I'm from Carbondale. I know I seem way too cool to be from Southern Illinois, but I am. Went to Brush School right here, which was such a great school. They tore it down. There's not even a plaque that says I went to school there, which bummed me out some. But I was the youngest, or still am, I should say, the youngest of 6 kids, 5 of whom went to SIU. All of us went to Carbondale Community High School and Carbondale Grade School. My 2 sons went to Carbondale Grade Schools, Carbondale Community High School, and SIU. Proud to say too, for all that you don't know, and anybody that has kids, I'm assuming you all brag on your kids too, but I'm going to brag on my younger son Mark is currently in the police academy and will be, hopefully, if he passes the police academy, which I assume he will, a police officer with this. Right in town, like my son, who takes after his dad a lot, I will say, in the police department. So, thank you. So, this is Hannah's statement. Thank you to the Neighborhood Alliance for the invitation to speak today. While I'm sorry I can't attend due to travel, I'm grateful to connect with you all through this message. By way of introduction, I grew up in South Elgin, Illinois, studied geography and English at Augustana College in Rock Island, and have called Carbondale home since 2023 when I began my master's program in geography and environmental resources at SIU. Hello, fellow Salukis. Outside of work, I stay involved locally through ballet, taekwondo, the Citizens Police Academy, and by supporting Carbondale's vibrant food, coffee, and music scene. I'm also the proud parent of 2 rescue cats, Pixie and Bobby McGee. Okay. Since joining the City of Carbondale as Sustainability Coordinator in July of 2025, my work has focused largely on advancing key grants secured by my predecessor. This includes 2 rounds of the Energy Efficiency Conservation Block Grant to develop a citywide energy plan and fund energy audits and upgrades in city-owned buildings. We've also applied in partnership with the Carbondale branch of the NAACP for the Community Solar and Energy Sovereign Grant to develop a 20-megawatt community solar project. And we are making progress on the Clean Energy Jobs and Justice Funds project called the Municipal Investment Funds, which will create a public-private partnership plan for Carbondale and serve as a statewide model. These projects have kept me busy, and I welcome anyone interested in learning more to reach out to me or to attend the Sustainability Commission's meeting held every 3rd Thursday at 5 p.m. at City Hall. Thank you for your time. Kindly, Anna Weber, Sustainability Coordinator. And I do have several members of the Sustainability Commission here and past members, some very notable people. So please raise your hand, present and past members, okay? The commission has really done well. It did well before the coordinators, but I think the coordinators have, all of them have helped kind of channel some of that energy and get some things done, get some grants going, and really, really a very positive thing to talk about. Oh, I get you.
This is all right, okay, moving in now. Q&A, questions and answers from our city officials. Any questions? We're gonna
Yes,
need
why
another
not?
mic, right? So I'll run with this one and they'll use that one.
Okay.
And let's see a hand up, the closest one. Okay, Funberg.
Last year, we had a presentation on emergency services. And I know that over the past several months, the city has experimented with other alerts besides tornado. I noticed there's a voice message. I live in southeast Carbondale. I can tell there's a voice, I can't understand a single word the person is saying. Is there other ways to have like beeps or different?
Yeah, so the issue with that, do you hear me? Okay, all right, the issue with that is it gets confusing. We already have 2 sirens, two different alerts. It gets a little confusing because it's difficult for people to remember what the beeps mean, what the siren means, what the wail means. The purpose of the outdoor warning siren is just that, to warn people that are outdoors. We would encourage you guys to make sure that you're linked in with Civic Plus, which is how we send out our alerts, and it's going to give way more detailed information. I know the county has just switched. They had an issue with their code red. They have switched to Civic Plus this month. There's an app that you can get to, and you can join. You can join both the county one and the Carbondale one through the app, and they'll both work the same. So them joining our system, the system that we're already currently using in Carbondale, will help bridge some of that. But that's what we would encourage people for, and out for more detailed information. The outdoor warning siren is that immediate vicinity. It does get, the voice is very distorted. Some you can hear very far away, it's clear. If you're on top of a siren, it's not clear. So we encourage citizens to use the Civic Plus to do that.
That microphone is not
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, is it on?
Okay, to segue, Chief,
Yes.
what is the worst disaster that you have
Oh.
attended in Carbondale historically?
May would be the worst disaster that I was part of.
The ratio?
The derecho, May derecho. Yeah, I've been to Harrisburg when they were hit by a tornado a couple years ago as part of a response team, and we started to go to the warehouse collapse up there east of St. Louis when they got hit. The Amazon warehouse got hit. But for Carbondale, I would say from what I've seen has been the derecho.
Again, thanks for being here and answering our questions. I think this question would be for John, and it's a 3-part question.
Okay, speak slowly, I'm a senior citizen, you know, so.
I'll go slow.
Okay.
So, and I'll ask the 3 questions and then allow you to respond. Thank you. First of all, do you have a staffed code enforcement department, and how many code enforcement officers are there? Secondly, what's the best way to report a code issue? And give you some background. I'm new to the Carbondale, been here 2 years, and I just recently bought a house right around Johnson and Waka. And I'm interested in maybe getting some code enforcement cleanup in our neighborhood with the whole city. But I don't want to start sending in everything to you that I see, because I know that you're wrong. So that's the second question, is how would I report? So do you have staff and how many? How would I report a code enforcement? And then lastly, do you give residents who are in a violation time to reconcile that before they get fined? Because of course, I want to make sure that I'm not calling in stuff and all of a sudden my neighbors are hating me because they're getting fined for inoperable vehicles and whatnot. So those are the 3 questions. Thank you, John.
Okay, that's a good question. So first of all, on the last one, if you watch Yellowstone, they take the guys they don't like down to the train station. Have you ever seen that? We do not have a train station, okay? So I just want to clear that up. First of all, so I'm a community development manager. So I have 2 divisions. Sometimes I call them the good division, the bad division. But the one side is a planning department, basically. It's got a fancier name, which I can never remember. But the other division is building and neighborhood services. So a lot of times people just call it B&S. So in building neighborhood services, you have a supervisor who's Corey Coffin, who's been with the city for 5 or 6 years now. Okay, he had my former job. Very great, approachable individual. Very level-headed, calm, all the things I'm not. Okay, he has 5 inspectors working for him. Okay, each of those inspectors has a separate sector. Okay, so the basic duties of what we call the neighborhood inspectors are to inspect all the rental housing in Carbondale every 3 years or by complaint. Okay, just to give you kind of an overview of what the department does. I'm not sure people know this. The other thing is, they also deal with things like the person parking in front of the fire hydrant, or parking in the no parking zone, or the person that's left their abandoned car on the street for weeks, or even in their own driveway for months. So there's a wide variety of things they do. In the summer, we hire a temporary part-time inspector to deal with high grass, okay? That gives you basics. At any time with any sort of thing, obviously you can put in a complaint. The best way to put it in is through an app or a program called See-Click-Fix. Now, a couple years ago, a year and a half ago, we made a pretty big change in building neighborhood services in our software. See-Click-Fix is run by a company, which she also mentioned, CivicGov, and that See-Click-Fix app now ties directly into our software app for our software program for building neighborhood services. So when that complaint comes in, it goes directly to that office, and there's no shuffling around or manual redirection of the complaint. So that's one way, and that is a very effective way. Because when you put that complaint on there, it basically is there for the whole world to see, okay? That's one advantage to it. The other thing that you can do is you can also simply call the division, okay? If you have any kind of rental problems, we're very, very effective at getting rental properties to tenants help if people will just call building neighborhood services. So you want to write down the number. If you want to get with me afterwards, I can give you the number. It is 618-457-3237. Sorry, we don't have a catchier number like Quattros or something like that. But call us. We are very effective at getting those things done. Lastly, your question is, building neighborhood services inspectors and the supervisor myself have all been through things like de-escalation training. So the citation is the very last thing that would happen. We are trying to get the problem solved, and that is through whatever means necessary. Okay, so obviously we want this person, they may not even know what they're doing is a violation. Okay, so we want to work with that person. We want them to solve the problem. A lot of times you can issue a citation, as Mr. DeMond will tell you, that a citation, you can issue a citation, the problem still won't be solved. You're getting money out of that person, okay, but you're not getting the problem solved. We're about solving problems. We're about making the city a better place to live. Thank you, John.
You ask questions? You ask questions? You ask questions?
Sure.
He's holding a microphone. Get the microphone. Elgin Street, Carbondale resident. I'd like to know why we got people staying in tents in this cold weather. We got all these empty apartments available. Public could be available.
Well, that's a good question. It's a question that unfortunately is happening in every community that we have around the country. Okay? I've been to the tent city. I've talked to people. I've handed out trash bags. Many of our mental health people from the police department, from Centerstone, are down there. It's a difficult question. We are always trying to work to get things done, and there are things, in the works, for that population and for others as a whole. Anybody knows anything about homelessness, and several of you work in the field of mental health and housing and so on. It's a complicated thing. It's not an easy fix. You can't go down and say, every one of those people needs a house and they're ready to move in now. Or every one of those people has this condition A, and we just need to treat condition A. Well, they don't. This person's got condition A, this person's got problem B, this person's got problem C, this person's got problem D. So they need individual, dedicated help, and it's something that I know is in the works and will continue to be in the works. Unfortunately, you can't take people who are not ready to live in housing and put them in whatever individual vacant house or apartment or mobile home and expect them to thrive.
Is that Mormon Center open? Can you get in there?
Yes, the Mormon Center is open, and they just received, from what I understand, quite a large grant. I believe it's $160,000. So.
Okay, we want to stay expeditious. These gentlemen will be available for the rest of the meeting are doing our break. We want to take a quick break and stretch, relieve us.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da. Okay. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Okay, with Camille Doris with the Carbondale Community Housing, that's the, I guess over on Forest House we have, right?
Yeah, it's our starter house, yes. Can everybody hear me okay? Okay. Housekeeping up here, so I tend to talk with my hands, so I can see me knocking a whole bunch of stuff off up here if I try. There we go. Well, very much, I appreciate being here today and seeing a lot of familiar faces, and didn't realize I had a full 15 minutes, so I don't know that I'm necessarily prepared for that, but I'll give it a shot. My name is Camille Doris. I'm a lifelong resident of Carbondale. Parents grew up in Carbondale, love my community, and I'm proud to say that I am working with the Carbondale Community Housing not-for-profit program now. I'm relatively new, just started in January, but I'm not necessarily new to not-for-profit world, social services, affordable housing, and residential housing. But the Carbondale Community Housing not-for-profit started a few years ago with an initiative through ARPA funds and the city government and community involvement to try to bring about housing opportunities that maybe we don't necessarily have. Housing opportunities that fit a few gaps here and there, housing opportunities that are meant to be sustainable and to reach those who are low to moderate income. And so when this opportunity came along to work with this group, I was thrilled. I've been a realtor for 19 years, I've been in social services for 30 years, I've worked in affordable housing, which also had a home buyer program for 25 years. And I thought, wow, I have hit the jackpot, so I'm thrilled, but I am new. So the mission purpose is basically to increase opportunities for decent, safe, and affordable housing for low to moderate income families and households. To also, bring stability to our housing market in our area. There's definitely a huge gap in housing in the Carbondale area. And not only that, but also to work toward long-term solutions with some of the housing that we've seen around Carbondale that has deteriorated, has been made rental housing for years and years and years, but has fallen into disrepair, and to try to come up with solutions for that as well. And also from a social service we're also empowering people. We're empowering a community, we're empowering people to become homeowners, to get more invested in their communities, stay here, to grow here, to live here, bring their families here. So I'm thrilled to be here and working with this group. Working with low to moderate income households, I can simply say from a real estate standpoint, they're not there. There's just not opportunities there, both on the rental side and the housing purchase side. Also, I come from working in social services, and I've worked years with people who are, in social services, we don't get paid large amounts, but we do what our purpose is, and we make a good living. But it's very, very difficult to get to that next step of home ownership. I work with a lot of single moms over my time who struggle with finding decent, safe, affordable housing for them and their families. And so, we're not just about buying and selling houses. We're not just about developing new apartment buildings and looking at some other housing opportunities. We're also about, solutions to some of those problems we all see on a daily basis. Helping preserve existing housing, it's a sad thing for me. I'm sure it's a sad thing for many of you who driven through Carbondale and seen, that once beautiful house that was there that has, really kind of started to droop and fall in, and you've got holes in roads and different things like that. So from a community-minded perspective, keeping those houses from being vacant, getting them back to the point where they are livable, and getting them back to the point where they are, safe, and revitalizing the neighborhoods and the communities that they're in. That's one of our important features. We hope to preserve existing housing. We also hope to identify and look at new housing development. So that could be rental housing, that could be also investing in new construction, in infill type neighborhood situations where you take a vacant lot and you work toward building a new home in a neighborhood that matches that neighborhood. Developing, responsible, community-driven solutions versus, not to say that there's necessarily anything wrong with this, but somebody from Colorado, or from California, investment group who comes in, reads a report, talks to somebody maybe for a few minutes and decides, I know what Carbondale needs. Well, we know what Carbondale needs, and so we're going to be assessing that ongoing and looking for more solutions. So our work includes acquisition, rehab of homes that we are then turning around into single-family owner homes, and so that could be that they are homes that have been single-family homes, or they've been multifamily, chopped up homes over the years that we're rebuilding back into single-family occupancy homes. It could be developing new areas, new developments that fit a gap. For instance, I'm going to be in that senior group sometime in the near future myself. And I went and I showed a house last night, and it was a condo, and on the outskirts of Carbondale. And I thought, gosh, this is what I need soon. This is what I would love to have soon. And so you just kind of got to start thinking outside the box a little bit too. But we're also going to be looking at community needs. Young professionals. What do they want? What's going to get people here, keep people here? What do we want to develop in the future? My daughter and her partner looked and looked and looked for housing that was decent, safe, affordable, and kind of met their needs. They wanted a little yard. They wanted something that was in a quiet neighborhood. They wanted some neighbors that they could get to know because now they're adults and they want to grow in that area. Unfortunately, they looked for a pretty long time, and even me, as I helped, with real estate, I was unable to find something that met their needs, because they both work. One works in Marion, one works in Murfreesboro. So they settled on something, and when I say settled, they settled, and it's still quite out of their price range, but it's on the outskirts, and it's actually a Murfreesboro address. And so I would love to solve those kind of problems as well as we go. We're looking, we're not doing this just as me or our not-for-profit board. We're looking at partnerships with government, private property owners, developers, pursuing funding opportunities not only locally, but from the state, from the federal government. I've worked a lot in grant writing, and a lot of the funding I've worked in the past with affordable housing has come from state and federal grants, so it can be a good thing, definitely. And our first initiative, I think you mentioned the house that we own. Our first initiative was to focus on identifying, acquiring, rehabbing single-family homes, and we have purchased our first home last summer, and it is on Forest Street. I'll leave that, there'll be a little surprise down the road when you get to see the finished product. But this initiative is just the first of many. We're trying to create a pipeline of partners from the city, from developers, from realtors, from donors, people that are willing to, maybe look at leaving their homes to this group, because we are a not-for-profit, and we have a very robust team that looks at these projects very carefully. And we purchased a home, but it didn't just come out of the blue. It was a wonderful opportunity. It was an opportunity that was brought to us, and a very, very acquirable property at a cost that is good for a not-for-profit to start out with. But the feasibility team looked it over. We went, we looked, we inspected it, we did the cost estimates, looked at, how are we gonna keep this affordable, even though, we wanna make this house sustainable. We want energy conservation. We wanna make sure that it's gonna last for this household that moves into it. But we have to keep it affordable. So we've got a group of people that put that together. So it involves planning, zoning, design folks, cost folks, and then just, from a real estate perspective, we actually have 2 realtors on that group as well that looks at what sells, what's gonna sell, what do we need to focus on. Okay, so our future is, looking toward what do we need, what do we want to do next? But we do want to try to purchase and rehab and turn over 3 to 4 homes in a year and have those homes in neighborhoods that are being revitalized and we can have as a proud piece to turn over to the new homeowner, but also help raise property values for the rest of us, help raise the assessed values and things of that nature. Excuse me. And as I mentioned, some of our future goals that may not be too far in the future, infill housing, looking to for new build in some of these neighborhoods, looking to the missing middle, those duplexes, those townhouses, some of those items that maybe we don't have or we don't have enough of for the needs of community members now. And then just any other gaps that we see along the way. And so we're going to be looking to groups like this for input, of course, and using our studies that have already happened, but also doing more surveys down the road. And our goal is not to create a new Carbondale. It's to be in line with the character of Carbondale, the history of Carbondale, but also be mindful of the growth needs and the changes that happen just naturally. Success to us is going to be driving down neighborhoods and saying, that home was horrible last year. Look at it now. That's wonderful. We want to hear other people from the neighborhood say the exact same thing. We want to see proud new homeowners, come to the area. We want to see, employers that are struggling to find housing for employees. That problem becomes a little less apparent. So we're not just about building homes or flipping homes. We're trying to take some of the revitalization efforts, but also look at the whole community plan of bringing jobs to the area, bringing health to, better health to the area, better housing to the area, but keeping it at an affordable range where that bubble exists. In closing, I just want to say again, I couldn't be more proud to be in my community, providing this service now, and working with such a great group of people. I have a lot to learn, and I'm learning every single day. I would very much look forward to hearing from many of you and seeing what direction you think we should go in. But as for now, I'm also out there just see me driving around and let myself into houses. I can do that because I'm a realtor when they're for sale. But I'm also maybe looking at those for our community not-for-profit or Carbondale Housing not-for-profit. And if you have ideas, if you have things, if you see concerned areas or anything like that, we want to hear that too. It's not all about the happy-go-lucky stuff. We want to hear about, hey, I don't think this need is being met. I think you guys might need to look at your future focus in this area. Because we want to be responsible in our development efforts. We want to be responsible in our, in good stewards of our funding. And make sure that it's not just about what I want, what about our board wants, but also what the community wants. How long I took?
Any questions for Camille?
Thank you. My name is Brad Whitaker. I'm fairly new to Carbondale. I've lived up here since 2024. I'm originally from Southern Illinois, Carroll actually, and lived in Atlanta for like 20 years. Decided to move back, and one of the struggles that I had moving back was actually trying to find a home. I did look at several homes, and basically the value versus the potential taxes did not equate to me. And so my wife and I, we decided to build a home, and honestly, I didn't know if I was I guess I'm on Boscadale. And so I don't know if that's considered Carbondale or Macanda. But nevertheless, I also was an investor in Atlanta. And when I see Carbondale, living here 20, 30 years ago, I see that there's a lot of opportunity. So when I see abandoned homes, I see an opportunity, right? So I want to know, I guess, two questions. One, how many vacant or abandoned homes does Carbondale have? Well, three questions. That's one. Number two, does Carbondale, the city, or Jackson County have a land bank? And number three, what does the city or your organization do to entice investors to open or invest in these properties? Because I'm all for affordable housing. You can't fix a house or build a house or build a community and no one can afford to live there. So.
So I'm not.
I don't know, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
He's gotta eat it, I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
So, some of these questions I may have John come up and talk to me about, since I am relatively new and I'm not as familiar with the inner workings of what's been looked at in terms of vacant homes and things like that. Yes, land bank, that has something that has been tossed around and is being looked at. We had a couple presentations when we were newly developing as a not-for-profit from other organizations that have worked with land banks, and that is my plan, is to kind of maybe travel a little bit around and talk with other communities that are similar and get a little more information. So that's on my radar as well. I'd love to talk to you more if you have more knowledge about that. Housing, how many vacant homes would you say we have?
A lot, but I don't know the exact number. I'm sorry. We demolished 28 houses under a state program, and we'll probably demolish a few more. I'm sorry. I thought I was loud enough, you might hear me, but so we got a grant from IDA a couple years ago to demolish a lot of vacant homes, and the problem was they were scenes of frequent fires, people breaking in them to steal materials and things like that, and setting fires. So we went after this grant. We've torn down 28 homes, probably going to tear down, 4 to 10 more. We have a deadline on the grant, so otherwise we would leave it open and go indefinitely. We've always had some sort of demolition program in Carbondale. One of the things we talk about land bank that we hope to do with the vacant lots is take those lots, give some of them to the CCH NFP, maybe 1 or 2 to Habitat, and maybe sell others out. Now, I don't want to offend any of the council people because I've not given them that plan yet, but that's kind of the plan, guys, so you will be getting something on that. And anyway, because we do want to take some of those lots that have utilities on there. One of the things that when you're developing a house, you got to pay for tap fees for water and sewer. These already have those taps on there, and so that's an advantage. So that's something we're looking at. The CCHF NFP is so new that it is still, these are still ideas that can be explored. And I think, make sure we get your contact information and come to a board meeting and let's fill those out. Okay. We do have a vacant building registry too, and I'm sorry, there is a tracking on vacant buildings. I'm sorry, I just don't know what that number is right now. Okay. It is 28 less than it was last year.
I've got one last question for this segment, and the question is, what is the standard rental price in Carbondale?
Well, define standard, I guess. So if you're going by fair market rents, which is put out every year, about $1,200 for a 3-bedroom. I believe it's around $900. And when you think of housing costs, you're also including utilities. So anything that costs to run your household. So those are utilities included. I will say, again, working with people who have families, the the least expensive thing that I know one of my friends and coworkers could find that was decent in a good area for her children to be able to get back and forth to school on foot was $1,300 for a 3-bedroom. And then you get into, you can certainly find a 1-bedroom for $550, and then a 2-bedroom for $750 to $950, but it ranges. And believe me, the landlords look at those fair market rents and they try to maximize on those, and I would too if I owned property, I guess, but it sometimes is not the most realistic figure for our Southern area.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll move right along. Sarah?
This is about organizing neighborhoods, neighborhood alliance meetings, so we're gonna talk about that a little bit. I'm gonna talk about your neighborhood for just a minute, and Randy will talk about neighborhood watch. But first, organizing. Where are we at as a community? Let's have like a show of hands. Raise your hand if you can name the people who live on either side of you and across the street from you. If you're part of an email list that neighborhood announcements go out on. If you're part of a phone tree for your neighbors.
Text group.
And in the audience, when was the last time you knocked on a neighbor's door? When was the last time a neighbor knocked on your door? Anyway, so if this is the choir that we're preaching to, we gotta come to Jesus moment, because that's we can do better. But why is it so hard? And you can pipe up if you want. I think COVID kept people in their homes, and it sort of just put a damper on everything for a while. Phones. Oh no, where's my phone? Phones. We get sucked into them, and we prefer texting to talking. Social media provides a social outlet, albeit at a distance from others. Polarization means maybe I don't want to talk to those neighbors. What else is it? Why is it hard? Any other suggestions? Time constraints. And just getting outside and going and knocking on a neighbor's door, it's like, oh God, I really don't want to do it. I don't remember their names, etc. So that's a lot to overcome. We'll need to work at it. Well, it's not going to happen without us, and we need to be persistent. Why is it important? This polarization business is not healthy for our society. Social cohesion is strength. We can't do much about the big picture, but we can reach out to our neighbors and on a small scale fight that tendency. Humans are social creatures. We're better off in community. I read somewhere that colleges have to teach new students how to talk to their roommates. Like we don't even know how to have a conversation anymore. If we know our neighbors, we can support each other. Carpool, help with shoveling, give somebody a ride, borrow a cup of sugar. Keep an eye on the house when the owner is away. And in case of emergency. What are some other reasons that it's important to know your neighbors? Neighborhood watch. Right, okay, so emergency preparedness, that's a big topic. What does that mean? You think about supplies of water and food, a go bag, a fireproof safe, a list of numbers to call, batteries, cash on hand. Those are all individual things for your house. And we're Americans, we're rugged individuals. Okay, so maybe you don't need help, but your neighbors do. And you really ought to know their names and their phone numbers. And if they have any pets, or if someone in the house is on oxygen. And it would be nice to know if they have a gas stove so you can still bake that bread that was rising when the electricity went out. Oops, maybe I can't do it all by myself. So, map your neighborhood is one way, a great way to get together with neighbors on your block and agree that when a derecho or earthquake strikes, you'll all work together to check on everyone. Keep everyone safe during those first hours after the shock. Shut off water or gas if necessary. Share fire extinguishers. Take care of each other those first hours after a disaster. This program, and this is some information about it, is carefully planned to make it easy and effective. So let me know if you want to know more about that. And now Randy's going to talk about Neighborhood Watch.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm Randy Mathis with Carbondale Police Department. Neighborhood Watch is very simply a way to get out and get to know your neighbors, and there's really no set plan to it. You don't have to have, well, I have to go out and do it this way, or we have to meet this many times. Every Neighborhood Watch group is as individual as the neighborhoods that they come from. So don't feel like, I don't have the time for all this, or I can't do it like that other block does it. It's really on how your neighborhood watch groups. And I'm here at the Carbondale Police Department to help you through that process. So if you are interested in starting a neighborhood watch in your area, if you had one and it hasn't been meeting for a while and you want to get it back going, absolutely reach out to me. It's as easy as just to go to carbondalepolice.com and call the police department to reach me. And again, like Sarah was saying, for disaster preparedness, it is very excellent to be able to use that in conjunction with the neighborhood watch, help get to know those neighbors and know those resources available. Because in an emergency, yes, we are all in it together.
So, what commitment will you make to do something to improve your neighborhood? Here are some basic things that are very doable. Knock on doors or leave a note, invite a neighbor to share contact information. Get a list of emails or phone numbers or both for all your neighbors and share that. Start with one contact per household and learn the names of others in the house. Walk around your neighborhood once a day in good weather. That's crime prevention. Contact Randy to start a neighborhood watch. Contact me for more information on your neighborhood. And what else? Hacks from the fire chief or police chief about other things that people can be doing. Have anything to suggest?
Yeah, just making sure you know, I know in our neighborhood, I live in the same neighborhood as James Snyder, and we have a Facebook group, a messaging group as another way that we communicate when a neighbor cat gets out, or you see somebody that doesn't, that doesn't seem like they're just knocking on doors saying hi or selling something, they're running around or moving behind houses, things like that. It's a way to, hey, or, and sometimes that's innocent. We have people that are visiting from out of town and they just don't look familiar. So when you get to know your neighbors, that helps. That stuff like Randy was saying with the neighborhood watch. As far as emergency preparedness, just talking those things out. Do you have 72 hours worth of food and water? That's what's recommended. 72 hours of food and water for each person. Do you have medicine for that time? Do you have, food for your pets? Things like that. Just getting to know what your neighbors around you are doing helps spark something maybe that you haven't thought of.
So along that same line, just being a good neighbor, knowing your neighbors, knowing your neighborhood, and call. Now, I think sometimes what happens, something will occur in your neighborhood, and everyone assumes, well, I'm sure somebody else called about it, somebody else noticed it, somebody else did something about it. I promise you, you call, let us know. You mind? Great shot on that. Time's a little messed up there.
That's your bed on camera.
Be the person that calls, be the person that takes action, be the person that that checks, that asks that question, and don't let that moment pass you by. Because I promise you, that's what we're here. We're here to respond. We're here to evaluate. So we don't get a call that goes, "Oh, I wish they would have called." But do we have busy days? Absolutely. But please call, because that way we can work with you to address whatever that issue is.
And as far as disaster preparedness goes, just the last thing, if you guys are familiar with Cardinal Crime Stoppers, last year we had an event for disaster preparedness. We are planning on having another one, so stay tuned for more information on that.
Okay, so what are you going to commit to? And our next speaker is Angie Bailey and Nami about client help, which is really great. I think it's going to be the high point in the program, so we're going to take a few minutes to take a break. Run around, introduce yourself to somebody who you haven't met yet or whose name you forgot, and then check out the lit table, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
If you haven't signed in, please sign in, please.
Go. It's like they're firing off the next question.
Did I get to your third question under subsection B, under Roman numeral 5?
Jennifer, can you hear me? Jennifer? Jennifer, I'm just testing to see if you can hear on that end. Hi, Jennifer. Can you hear me okay? Just checking in to see if you can hear. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Getting a little feedback. We'll test it. Okay, can you hear me okay? I'm getting feedback that I think I can go ahead and try to work through it. Oh, thank you for having me today.
Angie, are you on your phone as well? Maybe turn that off.
Okay, Jennifer, is that better?
Yeah, much better. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right. Thank you, everyone, for having me today, and thank you for the introduction. I am so sorry I couldn't be there in person. I've been out sick half the week, so wanted to still join and share this information, and then also introduce you to Dami. She's our graduate assistant in the Community Benefits Department, and she works on Find Help. Many of you I know, and as you were entering the room, I could see people walking in. So I want to say hello to all those that I know and introduce myself to those that I don't. So my name is Angie Bailey. I'm the System Director for Community Health at Southern Illinois Healthcare. And one of the things that we do, and I would say I'm a lifelong Southern Illinois resident, moved away for about a year and a half and then came back although I don't live in Carbondale, I live in Murfreesboro. Been really working with Carbondale on lots of projects for many, many years. First, I worked at the Jackson County Health Department for about 20 years and then have been at SIH for 11 years. So, and in one of my jobs in this role, in both roles actually, was to do our community health needs assessment. So for that, we're always looking at what needs to be done and what we can do to help the community be healthier. So one of the initiatives is our Find Help Southern Illinois, which I'm going to talk to you about today. So I'll go ahead and advance my slides. So Find Help, and thanks to Fonta Seydu, our community health coordinator, she found this cute little resource meme, but it's really a resource, online resource directory referral platform that is live. And I'm going to explain a little bit about that and show it to you and kind of how we got to this point. But I know from what you've all talked about and what we know about the community, we're always looking at ways we can work together, ways to find resources for ourselves, our community members, through community partners and different agencies. So, back in 2008, the Healthy Southern Illinois Delta Network was formed, and that group is a network of health departments with U of I Extension and the Health Department and SIU School of Medicine Center for Rural Health work together to form this Healthy Southern Illinois Delta Network. And so throughout Southern Illinois, there are community health coalitions, and all of those groups also do, through the health departments and all nonprofit healthcare systems, do community health needs assessments. And what we found is one thing is people really wanted to know what the resources are. So since 2008, we've been putting printed resource guides on the Healthy Southern Illinois Delta Network website with thousands of people accessing those each month. So you may have seen these here, and that the web page is still there. It's still live. You can find information there, but now it also redirects you to this new resource that I'm going to talk about that is Find Help Southern Illinois. And what we found in working on our community health needs assessment and with the community partners is that we wanted more of a public-facing, forward-facing directory that is able to do closed-loop referrals. So that means as one agency or even an individual, I could look up a resource and then I could refer myself to that or figure out the most direct way to interact with that group. So that is what we have tried to develop, and it's a work in progress and something that really is live and needs everyone's help and work to make it the best it can be. So the group that went into looking into Find Help and choosing it as our platform was the Healthy Southern Illinois Delta Network and the Southern Illinois Coalition for Children and Families. So Healthy Southern Illinois Delta Network covers 16 lower counties in Southern Illinois, and the Southern Illinois Coalition for Children and Families covers 19. So they also add White, Wabash, and Edwards. And so we wanted to really see what we could do in Southern Illinois to really make all of this easier for individuals to find resources. So it was written into the SIH Community Health Needs Assessment. And by doing that, SIH is the main partner in that, and we are actually funding the platform for the first 3 years of it. And then we are also doing fundraising to keep that going. And then we've also integrated it into our electronic health record. So here is if you want to just go online, but the easiest way is really to go to findhelpsi.org. What that's going to do then is take you to a website, and then from that website, you'll click on a button that says Find Resources. So this is where it will take you. So you'll enter your zip code 62901 or 62902. It'll look both ways for that. And then it'll help you find local community resources. So this is what the landing page looks like when you go directly to findhelpsi.org. One of the things I've done to make it even easier, I don't know how many of you have Apple or what kind of phones you have, but you can go to the page and then create a bookmark on your phones so it looks more like an app that you go directly to each time. But you'll go to this website and you'll find out more so you can learn about us, who are all the partners, our sponsors. There's more resources. So we didn't get rid of any of those printed resource guides because many entities, agencies, and organizations, they may have it written into their grants. So we're also trying to link people back to those as well as any sites that are really great resources. That is what you'll find in the more resources. So the types of resources that you'll find on Find Help are these different categories. So we had a committee of 37 different people from community agencies throughout Southern Illinois help us determine what we personalized and what we wanted to actually have on the site. So these are the different categories, and I'll show some screenshots, and please go on and explore, take a look, see what you see if you think things are missing. And you can suggest programs. But these are the topics. So food and basic needs. Camille was just talking about housing and shelter, healthcare services, addiction and recovery, mental health. So a lot of the things we see in our community health needs assessment and we hear and have seen community members looking for on the resource lists. And what our data shows are our needs. So there are the subcategories. So I showed you what the landing page looks like. And then once you get in, so this is an example of we just looked, and special thanks to Dami for her work on the presentation. But we typed in and we wanted a food pantry. So here you can see in the map, it shows you some different food pantries, and then it'll list the different food pantries. And this is called a program card. So in here, you can see the little check mark over to the right. That means that program has claimed their site and they are monitoring this and are looking at their site, and they have that contact here button. And then that would lead an individual to know how to contact them. Then you see at the bottom, you can learn more information. You can also star it as a favorite. You can suggest changes. And that's the little, looks like a paper airplane. And you can share it as well. So you can share it to individuals via text. So if you were working with someone or you yourself wanted this information texted right to you, you would check the box next to food pantry and then you could send it. It can be sent by email as well or text. You can print it, all these different things. And then if you are trying to utilize this service and you realize it is not correct, you can suggest changes as well. And then the Find Help National Company will reach out to them and update the listing. So that's what we tend to call it our Yelp feature, where people can make updates and changes and suggest changes. So if you are someone, and I know many of you in the room are, who are at an agency, or even if you're not, your community member that knows about a new resource, you can suggest a program, as I mentioned. You get an email and they'll ask you some questions. But if your agency is already in, you can go in and claim your listing. So all you would do to do that, search the program name, and then you'll see it, and then it'll ask you some questions, and then you can say, I work here, and then you'll claim it, and it'll send an email for you to set up a name, work email, and password. And then the neat thing about that is you can see data then about how many people have searched for your program, how many people have suggested it, all those different types of things. So it shows us a lot of data on the back end that we can look at, and then different agencies and programs can look at as well. We also have, and Dami brought some of these today. I think she's all already out or almost out, but we do have free promotional materials that we're giving out throughout the 19 county area. We've also sent this information to all libraries in Southern Illinois, asked them to share their materials, order more if they need it, and ask them to put a link or a shortcut on the desktops at their public computers. So we're asking any agencies where you might have that service to please share that with your community members that are using your services. But we have flyers, business cards, and postcards. And then we also have a free materials order form. So if anyone would like to get free materials, or you want more of what you got today, there is this QR code you can scan, and then and then post those 3 different kinds of items. And then if you're not able to do that, Dami can raise her hand and share who she is, but she can also take your name and get you materials at a later date. But we're super excited about this, and we are willing to, share those free materials, speak to other groups about it, do one-on-one demos if you're not sure, or if you're something you know about isn't exactly listed how you like, we can help with that as well. And then I also, just because I had you all, one of the other programs we're working on is addressing tobacco and vaping in Southern Illinois. So we have some free materials there. So there's a QR code. One of the big focuses too we're trying to work on is reducing tobacco and vaping use among those under age 21. So can get those free materials as well. The success measures for the program. So we started this initiative by working with Find Help and sending them over 3,000 different resources from Southern Illinois with names, addresses, emails, phone numbers, websites, all of that information. And they have been, and Dami and Lori Longville is a major contributor to all this work, have been getting that in, making sure it's in, trying to verify that the information is correct. So one of our success measures is that the majority of those resources are in and listed accurately. So this can only be done through everybody's help working together. And then we also want community members like you, agencies, social service, and healthcare to utilize it to meet their needs. It is shared. So if you are an agency or program, there is no cost for you to use this, for you to be listed. For some of you that may have been around a long while, I know Camille was involved with it, and maybe Sarah and others. Probably about 25 or 30 years ago, we had a program called Access SI. And when I think about that, that was this. But we were way ahead of our time with the Access SI, and it was something that was in, but there wasn't a real easy way to keep it updated. And so that kind of fell to the wayside, and we went to these printed online resource directories. So now we're just trying to make it easier, more just in time for individuals to use it. Another thing is the success measures that we're better able to connect community members to the resources that they need. Because you can do those direct referrals in the system, where people can directly contact the agencies. Then that we have the data, because it is tracking how many searches are done, how many referrals, how many programs are updated. So we want to make sure that is happening. And then with the SIH, we are also looking at all of our patients that are inpatient to be screened for the social drivers of health. So things like housing and utility difficulties, food insecurity, interpersonal violence. So we are also using this to provide patients with community resources. Um, I'm happy to take any questions, or if anyone would like to learn more, you can contact any of us that are listed here on the screen.
Okay, okay, do we have any questions for SIH? Okay, thank you so kindly. Here we go, folks. Let's carry on to the part that I really, really enjoy, where we begin to hear about some of the things that are happening with individual organizations. We're going back on the clock now, so everyone has 5 minutes. We're going to start off. Oh, 90 seconds. Well, I mean, like, if anybody here's tried public speaking and you're like given 2 minutes to stand up, 2 minutes is a long time to speak. So we're talking 90 seconds. So we're going to start with the Black Chamber of Commerce, Elver Lydell. And you'll get a warning at 15 seconds. There you go.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Alva Liddell, and I am the president of the Black Chamber of Commerce. Oh, gotta eat it. Okay. The purpose of the Black Chamber is we're here to unite Black businesses across Southern Illinois, bridge opportunity gaps and improve economic equity, empower and promote stability for new and existing businesses, provide resource information and guidance for business growth. We support the lower 17 counties of Southern Illinois. Anyone in this room can become a member of the Black Chamber of Commerce. You can go to our Facebook page or to our website. There is a QR code, and all you have to do is scan the QR code. Thank you.
Okay, Jason. Jason Rose, the Carbondale Park District. Sir, you're next.
My name is Jason Rose. I'm the new Aquatics Program Director, Aquatics and Recreation Program Director for the Park District. Part of my job is running the splash park during the summer and then working with our recreation programs the rest of the year. So I've got a few updates just to share with you what the Park District's up to these days. And we have a lot of different things going on around the city. We have the Kids Corner, the golf course, the splash park, all our various park facilities, Hickory Lodge, and then Lakeland Center over on Giant City Road, where we run a lot of our recreation programs out of. Over the past 2 seasons at the golf course, our staff have taken on an in-house project restoring the bunkers around the property. They're about 50% through that and continuing to work through and expect to be done in the next year or two. We're looking for young golfers that are interested in learning the game. There is a partnership we have with youthcourse.com, and there's some greatly reduced rates for youth golfers that want to get interested. So please check that out at youthcourse.com. On our website, you can find our current program guide. We have our fall guide out currently. And there's lots of great programs on there. I've only got 15 seconds left and I've got more to talk about than that. So I'm going to make it real quick. Check out stuff on there. There's lots of highlights about our events coming up this spring through the summer, fall. Coming up May 23rd is opening day for the Splash Park. And we have our new climbing wall that will be construction starting soon, and it will be open in time for opening day. Am I out of time? Grand opening for Marbury Arboretum's coming up. We've got lots of spaces for rent. Where's that hook? I got a second. Yeah. I'll be around if you have questions or other cool stuff we're doing. Thanks.
Jennifer.
Thank you.
I'm just going to give a little update on the library. So we've been doing this HVAC and roof project. It's almost done. Can you all hear me better? Okay. So it is a real relief to be wrapping that up, but they're just finalizing a few things, and you won't really be able to tell, except it will all be working and things won't be leaking and such. So we're doing a partnership with the Little Resource Center of Carbondale. So they're having a community health worker here Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So they'll be able to do some of the social work type stuff that we've had in the past. So definitely feel free to refer people over for that. Something that might be of interest to you all, we'll be doing some grant workshops coming up in March and April. So teaching people how to use our databases to search for grants, and also just helping with the actual searching process if anyone needs help. And we also do an open computer help on Wednesdays from 11 to 1. People can make appointments or come in for that if you need additional help with grant writing. The next few weeks, we have some good events coming up. We have a WSIU PBS screening of The Librarians next Sunday, talking about banning books. The DAR is having Daryl Dexter speak next Saturday about the Underground Railroad in the area. So that will be an interesting one. Lots of craft programs, children's programs. Obviously, the library is always a very lively place. So okay, thank you very much. And I just want to say thank you all so much for coming.
Okay, representing Carbondale United and a Carbondale council member, this is Nancy Maxwell.
Good morning. I stand before you not only as the executive director, practically eating it now. Is it working? Yeah. Okay. I stand before you not only as the executive director of Carbondale United, but as a mother who understands how fragile life can be and how powerful it is when people choose to show up for one another. Right now, Carbondale United is in the process of planning and rebuilding, listening, collaborating, laying the groundwork for the year ahead. One of our priorities is preparing to restart our in-school suspension program, creating spaces where young people are guided and not discarded, where accountability is paired with care, and where mistakes become opportunities to grow. We are also working to strengthen our relationship with unhoused neighbors, focusing on dignity, connection, pathways moving forward, because housing instability is not a moral failure. It is a community challenge. The restorative justice model that we are working with in the court system, we are building partnerships that focus on accountability, repairing harm, interpreting cycles that pull families back into the system and help them to move forward. Violence interruption remains centered in our mission, and our work depends on collaboration with schools, service agency, faith leaders, etc. We are moving forward with the process to regain full funding in this life-saving, prevention-focused work, and can move from planning into action. Remain consistent and oh Lord, I'm trying to talk so fast. Sustainable. We invite you to walk with us to help shape these efforts, to partner with us, to invest in community where healing is shared, accountability is restorative, and every life truly matters.
Okay, Courtney Smith with FoodWorks and Stephanie Eccles, why don't you come on up, get ready.
Hello, I'm Courtney Smith. I'm actually not with FoodWorks. I've been on the board of FoodWorks and worked closely with FoodWorks. I'm actually with Leaf Food Hub. Sarah invited me today to tell you what's going on at 106 East Jackson Street here in Carbondale. We are renting the building from Gail and Linda White. It used to be the Town Square Market. We are putting in a commercial kitchen for our farmers to use. And let me get my notes so I don't forget anything. So a little bit about Leaf Food Hub. It's actually stands for Little Egypt Alliance of Farmers and makers. 6 of us got together back in 2015 and decided we needed a new market here in the Southern Illinois region for farmers and makers of food. We are farmer owned and operated. We have over 30 farmers and makers with us right now. And we serve 12 locations in 6 counties, meaning we assemble food. People can order online. We assemble it and deliver it. The building at 106 East Jackson, we're turning into a commercial kitchen for our farmers and makers to use. We're also looking at to be a community resource down the road. That's 15 seconds. The FoodWorks mobile farmers market also uses the space to utilize it for farmers. And yeah, we're hoping to recapture food waste eventually in our commercial kitchen to help feed our neighbors. Thank you.
Okay, Stephanie.
Good morning, citizens of Carbondale. So glad that you are at the Neighborhood Alliance, and I do apologize for not being able to attend the meeting today. Thank you for your efforts to better our community. Really appreciate it. Thank you all for just being the citizens that you are and understanding the importance of community, the unity that we need within our community. I do want to remind some, but bring to your awareness that during the month of February, we will be having a citywide food drive. Walmart, Kroger, Schnucks, the food co-op, the public library will be collection points. Please encourage your friends, neighbors, and yourself to please donate to this cause. The donations will go to Good Samaritan Food Pantry, Feed My Sheep Food Pantry, and the food pantry at SIU for the students. We encourage you to challenge yourself, challenge your neighbors, challenge your different churches to see how much each church can raise. So please, if you need additional information, feel free to check the city's website, or you can contact me directly. My number is 618-303-1973. Thank you so much, and hope we accomplish a lot, and you'll hear lots about what's been accomplished within the city from the different organizations. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie from Green Earth. I can talk for 45 minutes without batting an eye, so I'm going to stick to my notes. Very quickly, Green Earth is a nonprofit that owns and maintains 7 nature preserves. All of our sites are in or nearly in this Carbondale city limits, and all of the sites are open to the public for outdoor enjoyment. Some preserves are bigger, some smaller, but the typical site is around 20 acres and includes a 1-mile hiking trail. If you'd like to see a map of our locations, if you just Google Green Earth and Carbondale, it'll take you right there. Will be the first listing. Last year, we had a big year. We had a grand reopening of our Paddles Fork Preserve, where we upgraded the often wet and muddy trail to a dry, smooth, ADA-friendly surface, and we installed some really beautiful interpretive signs. This site is adjacent to Addicks Park, so it's a great family outing. You can come walk our trails, immerse yourself in nature, and then your kids can play on the playground. It's a really neat experience out there. Looking forward this year, we plan to submit for a grant to continue improving the trail system at Chautauqua Bottoms. If awarded the grant, it'll take a couple of years to get up and going though. We are hoping to hold the Nature on Tap beer crawl again. That's our fundraiser we held 2 years ago. It was very fun. People have been asking about it, so we're going to try to bring that back to you in May this year. We'll put up announcements on our website and our Facebook. And of course, our biggest fundraiser of the year, a pumpkin glow, that'll be held again in late October, and it's become this very popular community event. It really takes all parts of Carbondale to pull this off. All the equipment borrowed, the volunteers. It's just a fun event, so I hope to see you there.
Thank you. Jessica with Carbondale, Keep Carbondale Beautiful, and Nick and Navarro, would you come around, please?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jessica Edmond, and I am the new executive director for Keep Carbondale Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited about this position, and I'm about to tell you why. Keep Carbondale Beautiful is a local nonprofit focused on litter prevention, recycling education, and community beautification. At our core, we believe that a clean, cared-for city leads to safer neighborhoods. stronger community pride, and a better quality of life for everyone. And with that said, Keep Carbondale Beautiful, we have a couple of programs that's offering. One is called the Adopt a Spot program. This is where anybody in our community, businesses, families, organizations can pick a spot in our community. And we just ask that you and your organization or you pick up that once a month or whenever it's convenient. We supply all those supplies like trash bags, gloves, support, volunteers. Just reach out to us, we'll help. We also offer the Bright Spot Award. This is where we celebrate our community for keeping up a clean yard, business. We want to celebrate them. So if you know anybody that deserves that award, please reach out to me. We want to celebrate them. And Keep Carbondale Beautiful, we have a couple events I'm really excited about. One is coming in March, is the tree sale. You can do pre-sales coming up pretty soon here. Just check out our website or you can talk to me. We also have our big city cleanup that's in April. We're asking for community help, support. Please come out and keep Carbondale beautiful. And in June, we have the Bee and Butterfly Yard Tour. This is exciting. If you know anybody that wants to sponsor a yard, please reach out to me again. And we're all about beautification. I'm gonna send this out for my daughters who are SIU students. They have an art show today at the FUTMIC. That's the first night I met this church. Please come out and support these beautiful girls. And we're also looking for volunteers. Guys, we want to keep Carbondale beautiful. So come out. We want to keep Carbondale green, cleaner, greener, and make it more beautiful. My name is Jessica Edmond. Please don't be a stranger. Talk to me. I'm friendly. Let's work together. Thank you.
Okay, Nikki, and I saw Jane Koga's name tag early. Come on up.
Hello, my name is Nikki Navarro Gamboa. I'm the Community Center Manager at Rainbow Cafe and Rainbow Community Health and Wellness. We're a LGBTQ+ nonprofit organization here in Carbondale. We have a wide variety of different support groups for all ages, from family-friendly all ages. We have a 13 to 17 age range youth group that meets every Friday, and several adult groups that meet periodically throughout the months as well. At RCHW, we also offer free HIV and STI testing. We have behavioral health services. We have wellness coaching. We have massage therapy. And we also do case management and health navigation. We're also actively seeking board members and volunteers. So if you know anybody who is interested, the applications are on our Facebook, on our website, and we would love to have more of our community come support us in our mission to help the queer community here in Southern Illinois. So we just celebrated our 25th anniversary. So we're hoping to have 25 more. So thank you all.
Thank you. I think it's still morning. Good morning. I'm Jane Kogi with the Shawnee Group Sierra Club, Illinois chapter. We do a lot of activities, invasive species pulls in the Giant City State Park and Shawnee National Forest. Help chapter, Illinois chapter pass climate bills, such as the data centers are a big threat to our water and energy supplies. So, but I do want to highlight 2 upcoming events. There's a handout at the table up there that you can grab that lists them all, especially if I run out of time. You might want to look at that. This Thursday, February 12th at 7 p.m. at the Carbondale Township Hall. There's a presenter, Robert Bristow. He'll share his experience of hiking the 2,048-mile Appalachian Trail. Quite something, especially since he did it, faced those challenges without a cell phone. And that's what his book, The Real Appalachian Trail Before Cell Phones BC, which is published by the Appalachian Trail Museum. We'll be raffling off a copy of his book at the event. So please join us for that. A somewhat larger event in terms of where we're holding it in the Carbondale Civic Center is March 18th, 6 to 7:30. Saving Nature 1 Yard at a Time, screening and discussion of Doug Talamay's What's the Rush? Both the film and the discussion run by some panelists that we have, I can tell you more about, will focus on the work of Talamay, a work widely published wildlife entomologist, and his campaign to have all of us save nature 1 yard at a time. We'll have refreshments there. We're seeking co-hosts who are see this as a relevant event for their group. And again, we're going to go with raffling. So thank you very much for your time. And I'd be glad to talk with you about our other work.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hello, I'm Shay Davidson from the Survivor Empowerment Center. We've been part of the Carbondale community for more than 50 years, originally starting as the Women's Center, meeting in a house on Walnut Street, but we're currently a very large facility on South Thompson, just across from SIU. We provide a range of services for people who've experienced gender-based violence, including counseling, medical and legal advocacy, referrals to other social service agencies, and for people who are fleeing domestic violence, we have an on-site shelter. And for loved ones of people who've experienced sexual assault, we also provide counseling and a range of support services. We have coming up in April, we'll have events connected to preventing child abuse and raising awareness of sexual assault. And then in early May, we'll have the Taste of Chocolate fundraiser. Our new executive director, Angela Odom, is working on a program to essentially kind of reflect on our internal culture, the internal values of the organization. And beginning in the summer, we're going to be expanding the services we offer, including offering more education and violence prevention programs in the community. Thank you.
Hello, I am Tanisha Kiarai with the Carbondale Warming Center. And at the Carbondale Warming Center, our mission is simple: humanity first, dignity always, and no one left out in the cold. Every night our doors are open. People come to us not as problems to be solved, but as people to be cared for. Neighbors who've fallen on hard times, individuals fleeing unsafe situations, people facing mental health or economic challenges. We meet each person where they are with respect, empathy, and dignity. Homelessness doesn't define a person. How we respond defines us. When the temperatures drop, the risk becomes real and immediate. A warm, safe place isn't a luxury, it's a matter of survival. We believe warmth is a human right. That's why the events like the coldest night of the year is our annual fundraiser, which is on February 28th this year at the Carbondale Community High School. We walk in to the cold to stand in solidarity with the people who don't have the option to go home and get warm. Every step we take says you matter. Our work depends on community support. Every donation, every volunteer hour, every shared message is empathy in action. You don't have to solve homelessness. You just have to show humanity. Humanity first, dignity always, no one left out in the cold. Thank you.
Okay, not here, so I'll read what she wrote. Women for Change was founded about 7 years ago to address violence on the northeast side of Carbondale. We have worked hard. In order to beautify the area, we wanted to make plants and flowers available to the residents. We started the Red Hen Garden at 507 East Larch Street for that purpose. The garden has provided free produce to our neighbors from the beginning. Each spring, we hold our garden gala to trade and give away free plants. We slowly started to do projects with Thomas School, which is right around the corner from us, and that's where Kate is right now. They got 8 classes over there. Last year, we hosted all of the classes in a garden tour where they learned about the mint family of plants, seed saving, composting, and had a general tour. We also provided 3 classes with their own garden bed. This year, we hope to expand to providing planting space to all 8 classes. We continue to grow produce and flowers for anyone to come and take. To help our neighbors learn life skills, we host the Miller Tisdale Free Sewing Room at the Irma C. Hayes Center at 441 East Willow. Anyone who may use the space for sewing projects. So if you got something you want to do, you want some extra help, you got an extra material, extra machine, that's the place to go. Drop in to learn how to use the machines and do beginner sewing projects with a teacher. We are always looking for people to pass on their skills as well. This year, we have a new and larger space. We hope to add a crafting space. Summer lawn mowing program continues as well. This will be available if you want to read the rest of the details. I'll stop there. And then Fuller Futures. Okay. That's 3 things. Elizabeth Donahue sent this. This is also over there on the literature table about the Fuller Futures Festival. Fuller Dome Home Not-for-Profit. Fuller Futures is a 5-day convergence happening April 22 to 26 in Carbondale. centered on the legacy of Buckminster Fuller and what his ideas mean for the future. It's a collaboration between Southern Illinois University, Fuller Dome Home Museum, Buckminster Fuller Institute, and the city of Carbondale. Festival includes Earth Day programming, a relaunch of the World Game, conversations about sustainability and design, community gatherings, and special events across campus and town. One highlight is The History Mystery of the Universe, a one-man play about Buckminster Fuller running at the Varsity Center for the Arts on that weekend. They'll be needing volunteers. It's April 22 to 26. Bucky Dome, we like that. We want to support it. That's information over there. There's some extras you can take. Our study circles meeting is the first Wednesday of every month at 5 o'clock at City Hall. And Angie Bailey had something to add.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention if anyone was interested in joining the Jackson County Healthy Communities Coalition, and you haven't been a member, you can go to hsidn.org and the Who We Are page to join. There's also the Friday newsletter that goes out. If you are a member of the Jackson County Coalition or any of the HSIDN coalitions, and you are offering programs, they can be put in that Friday newsletter, and those get sent to Fanta Saydu. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Bailey. Do we have any questions from online people? Okay, we made it through another year. I guess everyone here is pretty much old enough to know Carol Burnett. Yeah, I'm so glad we had this time together. Just to share a laugh and sing a song, seem we just get started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say